We're live in Best Chicago Wholesale Deals Live Facebook group, making sure my audio is working. So today we're going to be going over just laying the foundation and getting started. I think today's training will probably be the most important training on just getting started and laying the foundation on how to get started. Okay. So I think if you skip this step, you're probably gonna not do well. So t today's training is just we're gonna go over everything from setting how to lay the foundation, how to set your goals, and how to get started, pick a market, and everything. So my goal is to help you. Hopefully, our trainings help you, and one day you partner with us on a deal by sending us a deal. We may buy from you, or we may wholesale to another investor. Maybe we can do a creative finance deal, or we even manage Airbnbs. Maybe we can do that. So our goal here in these trainings are to just help you. Hopefully one day you send us a deal. Hopefully we'll partner on the deal in the future, right? If you're a buyer looking for deals, this is our email buyers list. If you have a deal that you own, or that you have it under contract directly with the owner, you need help moving it, you can send it to us here. We closed on our rehab today in Kankakee. So we're closing deals. We're rehabbing deals ourselves as well. So we may buy it, we may, maybe the numbers don't work, and maybe we have another investor that would buy it. So send it our way, we can take a look at it, take a look at the numbers, see if they work, right? So today we're going to talk about getting started, laying the foundation. And I believe this is like the most important thing. First of all, just laying the foundation, what you need to do, and why, like why you're doing this, right? So the first thing is like, why does creative real estate investing, why is it the best business to get started into? I believe it's the best business because um, you can get started in creative real estate investing, doing wholesaling, doing like rent to own, doing owner finance transactions, doing like Airbnb management, or like rental arbitrage, rent to own, stuff like that. And you can do it without any money. You can do it without getting into debt, without any money. So it's scalable. It's unlimited to how many deals you can do, right? And if you just look on YouTube or podcasts, just type in real estate wholesaling or real estate owner financing, real estate rent to own, and you'll see thousands and thousands of people that are closing deals, creative real estate investing deals where they're not putting up their own money, they're not investing, or they're not getting into debt. So that's why I love it, is that you can actively like literally we just closed on a deal, and we're rehabbing it, and we have we have a third party partner that is rehabbing it, and we're not getting into the debt. Like we're going to get uh 50% of the profit, and then we're not paying the holding costs, we're not paying the taxes, the water bill, the insurance, any of that. We're just finding the deal, managing the deal, and rehabbing it. So we even have third party companies that you can get creative partner with them, and they put up all the money, right? So that's another creative strategy that we do with our partners. Um, so the first thing is why creative real estate business is the best, I believe, because it's unlimited, right? You can do as many deals as you want when you're rehabbing properties yourself. You're putting up all the money, you're buying rental properties. You got to put up all the money, you got to get into debt, and you're limited, right? When I first started, I bought like 10 rentals, and it was all through, using down payments, 20% down, and getting conventional loans. And eventually I got tapped out, right? I couldn't do any more deals after that. So I was stuck. I was like, man, I need to f find out other ways I can do deals without getting into more debt on my own personal name, because lenders won't lend to me anymore because I have too many loans on my name. So with creative real estate investing, you can do rentals, you can do something like rent to own, you can do owner financing, and you can pick up rental properties as many as you want without getting your credit checked, and without getting into debt either. So first step is like why? like why, if you really believe in the business that you're doing, you really understand it, have faith in it and believe in it, guess what? It's going to motivate you to keep to do it, right? If you don't have any faith in the business, you don't like someone sent me a business saying, "Oh, hey, you can make a cleaning company like and do this." And I have no faith in that, right? So if you don't have faith in what you're doing, you're going to give up and fail. If you're just doing it because you want to make money, um, and that's your only motivation, it's going to fail. What you want to do is get into Facebook groups or listen to podcasts of people that are successfully closing deals all the time, and that will build your motivation, right? Like if you don't do that, like if you don't understand that this is the best business to get into, um, um, you might end up quitting, right? Second thing is pick a market. So if you're just getting started, you need to pick a market. You can't be all over the place. And this is a mistake I see a lot of like new people doing is like they're just all over the place. Like they're in this market and that market and this market and that market. If you don't pick a market and focus, guess what? You're never going to brand yourself. No one's going to ever know who you are, and you just be all over the place. For example, if I go to Chicago, any real estate meeting, probably everyone knows who I am, right? If I go to now if I go to Florida, like I'm doing deals in Florida now, it's a lot harder because no one knows me, right? Chicago is very easy to do deals for me because everyone knows who I am. I get deals in my inbox, right? But markets where no one knows me, it's a lot harder to do deals, right? So the key is like pick a market and stay there until I'm gonna go over that until you max out all the leads in that area. I would say stay in that market, right? And you can use like AI to find out what market is good. If you go to gemini.google.com, you can just type in, hey, what is the best market in Chicago, Illinois, or Illinois to for investors, right? And they will tell you like what market you can pick. But you need to stay in the market, like focus. And the reason is, like I said, eventually you want to brand yourself. Like this business is in the beginning, nobody knows you, right? Nobody knows who you are, no one knows your name. But if you're consistently staying in one market in one area, guess what? Everyone in that area is going to know who you are. You're going to become well known, and then business will be easier. You get deals in your inbox. Like I think I got like 10 deals in my inbox today of people sending me a deal that I didn't have to work for because I stayed in the market and I'm known in the market, right? Um, and that's what you want to do is like I said, in the beginning, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. Um, you got to realize that it may take 3 months to 6 months or more to be consistently closing deals. And the reason is nobody knows you yet, right? But if you're consistent, you're contacting every lead in that market, contacting every pre-foreclosure, every distressed lead, every for sale by owner, every for rent lead in that market. Guess what? Everyone now knows your name, knows who you are, and you're constantly every new deal that comes on comes out there, you contact and you try to make an offer. Everyone's gonna know who you are in that area, right? So pick a market, stay in the market, and don't be jumping around from Chicago, and then all of a sudden next week you're in California, and then next week you're in North Carolina, and next week you're never gonna you're always gonna be an uphill battle. Because like I said, no one knows who you are yet, right? You need to pick your goal, your now goal. So there's gonna be a future goal and then a now goal. A now goal is like, hey, what do I need to make? What do I need to make now in order to quit my job, do this full time, and be able to pay all my bills? And so you need to make a now goal. Like, what's your now goal? How much you need to make a month? How much you need to make a year, right? I like to do a notepad with that. I don't know if I've done this a bunch of times, but I think this is the most important thing. Like, write your goal down. If you don't do this, then you don't know what you're doing. Like, you need a game plan. You need to know. you need to know what to do every day. If you don't know what you're doing every day, you're going to be just lost, right? Like this is the like the foundation. So I believe everybody wants to maybe earn, 10,000 a month, I think would be reasonable for getting started. And you want to that should be enough to, pay your debts, pay all your living expenses. So that'd be 120,000 a year, right? Yearly. And we just have to make a few assumptions. So what we want to do is figure out like how many hours do I need to work to hit this, right? Every day. So the end goal here is like, okay, what exactly do I need to do every day to make this amount of money, right? So the goal here is to break it down like, hey, I need to work 3 hours a day, 5 days a week or something like that, right? So the assumptions are you make 5K per deal. That's like a typical deal. I think we make a little bit over that. And then it's going to take 30 uh, offers equal one deal. So thirty leads come in, 30 offers equal one deal, right? So if you divide 120 divided by 5, you need to close 24 deals a year. That's your year-end goal, right? To make 120,000. So in order to do that, if we're assuming 30 offers equal one deal, which is pretty conservative if you're doing like direct to owner marketing, 720 offers yearly. So 720 divided by 12. So your yearly goal. So if you don't hit this yearly goal, you're never going to make 120, right? So if you don't hit if you get started today and a year from now, you don't make 720 offers direct to owner, um, you're not going to make the 120, most likely. Um, and when I say direct to owner, I mean, you're not just making offers to other wholesalers or real or listed properties on the MLS. You're trying to get a owner directly and make an offer, right? 60 a month. So 60 a month. And if you divide that by 4, so weekly, 15 weekly. So these are your goals, right? At the end of the month, did I make 60 offers? At the end of the week, did I make 15 offers? And if you got 5 days a week to work on it, you're making 3 offers a day, 3 per day, 5 days a week. So 5 days a week. So this is your goal, right? Like if you want to reach the 120, right? And another assumption we're going to make is going to take 1 to 2 hours equals one offer, which is averages that we're getting. So it's going to take anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, 5 days a week to reach 120,000 a year. And these 3 to 6 hours are just strictly you're talking to sellers and you're making offers. That's it. You're strictly just talking to sellers, making offers, and that's all you're focused on, right? And you need to treat this like a business, I always say. So where can I fit these 3 to 6 hours in 5 days a week? So you got to write out your schedule, and everyone in your household that you live with needs to know your schedule. And you need to treat it like a job. Like if I don't show up for my 3 to 6 hours 5 days a week, I'm gonna get fired, right? That's how you need to treat it. If you don't treat it this way, I think you're gonna treat it like a hobby and you're gonna show up whenever you want. Like I show up to work at a certain time and then I end work at a certain time every day. And the reason I do that is because I treat it like a job. If I treat it like a hobby where I'm gonna work whenever I have time or feel like it, you're gonna make hobby money. You're not gonna make anything, right? So when I first started, this was my schedule. 1 hour at like 7 a.m. I was like preparing all the leads I was gonna call, and then my lunch when I had a full-time job like 15 years ago. I had a 1 hour lunch break, so around like 12 p.m. I had an hour of calling these leads. And then after work, maybe go to the gym for an hour. I'll be home at like 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. I got another hour in, an hour, or I had 1 to 2 hours coming in. And I did that Monday through Friday, and that was my schedule, right? And I committed this schedule to myself, right? I wrote it down, made the goal. Um, if you don't have a plan, you're gonna fail, right? Like if you don't have some schedule like this or accountability, and it's good to get like an accountability partner to help you as well, someone that someone that keeps you accountable. Hey, did you put in your 3 hours today or 3 offers today? Did you make your 3 offers today, right? Um, get an accountability partner, right? Find someone that in your household or a friend or somebody to hold you accountable to these goals, right? So pick your now goal. And that's kind of how you want to do it. Break it down. If your goal is to simply if your goal is to simply double this, I want to make 240,000 a year. Guess what? You gotta double the time, right? You gotta go now 6 to 12 hours, 5 days a week, right? And you gotta double that, right? And you gotta set up a marketing plan. So during these 3 to 6 hours, 5 days a week, what's your marketing plan, right? And you don't have to do Monday through Friday. You can do, if you want to do 10, 12 hours on a Saturday or 12 hours on Sunday, whatever fits your schedule, right? Like everyone's different. So set up a marketing plan to reach your goal. And my suggestion with marketing plan is focus on people that are most distressed and people that are maybe already raising their hand saying they want an offer, right? So how I teach the marketing plan is go with the free leads for sale by owner. You got people already raising their hand saying they want an offer. You got Zillow, you got Facebook, and then you have Craigslist are the big three with for sale by owner. So these are the big three. And for rent. So a lot of people snooze on this, but for rent section, we got tons of like listings, like just normal listings and rent to owns we got. You can do owner finance deals on these for rents. You can do some of them will even be good wholesale deals. We've done wholesale deals where the property was for rent and they just couldn't sell it on the MLS. It expired and then they're trying to rent it and then we come in and they finally realize that they're not going to get the price they want and then we come in and offer them price and they move forward. So for sale by owner for rent, these are people already raising their hand saying they want to possibly do a rent to own owner financing or even sell their house. So these are free. So every lead in your market should get contacted. Every for sale by owner, every single for rent. And then the second tier, I would say, you need all the distress lists. Distress list, the top ones are the tax delinquent, pre-foreclosure, and probate. So these are the top three, in my opinion. Also, we like to do a vacant property list as well. So how you should plan your marketing is okay, you're going to pick a market, you're going to stay in that market. I'm going to contact every single for sale by owner for rent every single week, every single new for sale by owner for rent. They're going to get a call from me and I'm going to ask them, hey, are you looking to maybe an offer on your property? And we're going to make offers on every single lead that raises their hand, right? And then I'm going to then contact the most distressed list, tax people behind on their taxes, people in pre-foreclosure, people that just inherited a property, vacant properties. And then after I contact every single most distressed leads, I contact all these leads and made offers on them. The third thing I'm going to do is the other lists, which are they're going to be the less distressed lists. So these are going to be absentee owner. These are going to be free and clear properties, high equity. These are going to be maybe tired landlords, tired landlord list, senior owner list. So these don't really have distress. They're not behind on their mortgage. They're not behind on their taxes and stuff like that. There's not a vacant property. So you're going to get a lower response rate. So contacting these lists up here, the distress list, you're going to get a high response rate. So you're going to get more people saying, raising their hand, saying they want an offer. The other lists, absentee owner, free and clear, high equity, tired landlords, you're going to have tons and tons of more leads. Like, for example, one area may have like 1,000 leads on the distress list, and then you do absentee owner, free and clear, high equity, and all of a sudden there's like 10,000 leads to call, right? So you want to do that last because you're going to have a lot of leads to call, and it's going to be less distress. So you're going to be a lower response rate. So my opinion is once you've done this in your market that you've chosen, these three things, the next step is to move to the next zip code over, or the next city, the next village over, and do, if you're like in a big city like Chicago, you want to break it down by zip code. But if you're in like a small village, small suburb, you just want to do the whole suburb. And then maybe, once you contacted every single lead in that area, then move to the next suburb over, or the next zip code over, right? How you want to contact these leads? Simply call, leave a voicemail, text. You'll have their email, so you can potentially email. So call, leave a voicemail, text. You can do direct mail if you have money to invest. Direct mail is another great way to do deals. So these three, I think, call, leave voicemail, text, direct mail are would be the top ways. Um, and to get these lists, there's paid companies and there's free companies to do it. So to get the free list, you can go to propwire.com and you can actually grab all these lists. But the lists are not going to be skip traced. They're not going to have phone numbers. So you can pay for the skip tracing. I think they charge about 10 cents a lead to skip trace. And then the paid way, we use X Leads right now, and they're already skip traced. So you just, type in the zip code, pick the list that you want, and then you'll have the list in front of you and you can start calling, right? So in my opinion, this is the best way to plan your day, for sale by owner. And every time like I said before, every time a new lead comes up, you should be monitoring this every week. Like every time a new tax delinquent lead comes up, I call them, I text them, I make an offer. Every time a pre-foreclosure, probate, vacant in this area pops up, I contact them, right? So every week you're monitoring the list and making sure that any single new lead that pops up, I'm calling them, right? If you do that consistently for 3 months, 6 months, you're gonna max out your area. Like every lead in the area is gonna be a call from you. Every lead in the area that wants an offer is gonna get an offer from you, and then you start becoming branded, well known, right? And then that's when I would move over to the next zip code or the next area. Okay. So that's the marketing plan. So pick a market, pick your goal, your now goal on hey, I need to make this much to pay off my debts, to pay my living expenses so that I can do this full time. Set up a marketing plan. So now you know like how to get these leads, how to contact them, and make your future goal. So I believe future goal is very important because this business in the beginning is gonna suck. Like the first 3 to 6 months suck because nobody knows you, you're not branded, you're not getting leads in your inbox. So you need to stay focused. Like, hey, what's the end goal? Why am I doing all this? Why am I making, 30 offers and getting rejected, and maybe some months you're not going to see any money coming in. For me, it took me like 6 months to close my first deal, so I didn't see any money for the first 6 months of trying to do like creative deals. I was mainly focused on wholesaling, and yeah, I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. But what kept me focused is the future goal. So the future goal is to eventually outsource everything, hire. Like that's what I love about this business is that everything that you do in this business can be outsourced. Could you can hire people. You can do that through hiring people, of course, and then you can also do that through mentorship, mentoring people, and then splitting profits, right? Like what we teach and what we do. Um, so write down your future goal, and how that looks is kind of like what we did earlier. Um, so my future goal, I want to break it down the same way, right? So that my future goal, I end up want to make, my dream would be to make $240,000 a year, right? So like I said, you would just be doubling everything. So I need to close 48 deals. I would need to double up my offers yearly, monthly, weekly, double my daily offers. So I would need to be making six direct to owner offers a day times 5 days a week, 5 days weekly, right? So and then that's going to take 6 to 12 hours, right? 5 days a week. And guess what? You don't want to be working 12-hour shifts, right? So here I want to hire. So let's say that you hire two acquisitions people. You're paying them, maybe you're paying them 2,000 each a month plus commissions. And these two acquisitions are doing the three offers a day. So they're doing the 6 to 12 hours of work for you, and you're not doing it yourself anymore, right? Like in the beginning, you're doing everything. You're making the calls, you're setting up the marketing, you're meeting the seller at the properties. You got to do every single thing, right? In the end, the future, you can double your profit, and on top of doubling your profit, you can not do anything, right? You can basically you don't have to you don't go to the properties, your team does. You don't talk to the sellers, your team does. You don't analyze the deal anymore. Your team, you train your team. So you're cloning yourself. Like I'm just duplicating myself, and you can do that as many times as you want through hiring. You can do either hiring or mentoring. And of course, hiring these people are permanent with you. They're full time with you, or you can hire part time. And then mentoring is, they may be with you for a year or two, and then all of a sudden they go off on their own, right? Which is fine, right? I love, helping people, mentoring people. I love getting to that point of like, hey, just bringing someone on that knows absolutely nothing about real estate, and all of a sudden they close their 12th, 15th, 20th, 30th deal with us, right? Um, and just being able to, I think for me, that's the most gratifying thing is being able to help somebody change their financial future, right? So that's up to you. Some people are not, don't want to do the mentorship. They just want to hire 30 people eventually or 40 people. But you can dream with it. Like, write down your goal. Like my dream is one day I want a $1 million business, a year. And you can do the same thing here, like break that down. How many people do I have to hire to have $1 million business a year in this, right? And then you can break that down and see how many hours that will you'll have to put in, right? So make sure you stay focused. Write down your end goals, like what's your end goal. And I believe we have a five offer system. We teach wholesaling, we teach mainly rent to owns. You can do owner financing, but I don't believe in getting into debt. We do regular listings, we do Airbnb management. Uh, I believe you should learn different strategies where a lead can come in and you don't need a ton of equity. You can actually cash flow a deal that has negative equity. Like we've done tons and tons of deals where we turned into like a rent to own and maybe Airbnb'd it and it was cash flowing and it really there was negative equity in the property. So you should learn these different strategies because that's going to make business easier. For example, if you're just focused on wholesale and wholesaling, you got to get at a very low price for an investor to make a profit and for you to make your wholesale fee, right? So those deals are harder to come by. So 30 leads come in and you may get one, right? But let's say that you learn all the different strategies where you can close deals even without equity. If you learn these strategies, then your conversion rate now becomes like 20 to 1 and eventually 15 to 1 or 10 to 1. That makes business so much easier, right? I only need 10 leads to get one deal now instead of 30 leads to get one deal. So what happens is your hours that you have to work become less and less as your conversion rate gets better, right? Same thing with negotiations, learning how to build rapport, learning how to negotiate. Becoming a student and a master at negotiations, that makes business easier and your conversion rate better, right? So now it's time to do the daily work. So step six, right? Like do the daily work, right? You have to consistently make offers every day. Talk, call sellers, be in front of sellers that own a property, calling, texting them, emailing them, and seeing if they want to offer on their house. And that's the daily grind, the daily work that you have to do in order to reach your goals, right? And like I said, it's first 3 to 6 months are the hard. First 3 to 6 months, I would say 90, maybe 90% of people quit. Um, and maybe 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 100 are going to actually close a deal or do a deal. And that's because it's not easy. Like people are out there on YouTube and all over the place saying, "Oh, this business is so easy." It's not. In the beginning, it's hard. Like you gotta make the calls. That sucks. You gotta get all the rejections. That sucks. You have to learn how to make the right offer. You have to go meet the seller at the house, possibly if you're local. You have to you're doing everything. You're a one-man show, right? But eventually, if you stay focused on your end goal, where maybe your end goal is I have 10 employees working full time for me, my end goal is, 1 million a year. If you focus on your end goal, that's going to keep you focused and not give up and quit, right? And one of the most important things is follow up. And the reason why business sucks in the beginning, first 3 to 6 months, it sucks is because you don't have a follow-up list. You're not following up with anybody because you don't have anyone you made an offer on yet, right? But 3 to 6 months of doing this consistently. So if you're actually hitting your goals and that goal was monthly, you're making 60 offers a month. So at the end of 6 months, 60 times six, you have 300 and possibly 360 leads that you're following up with every single month. And that's your most important list is your follow-up list. Someone that you've already talked to, somebody you've already made an offer on the property. That is the absolute most important list in your database. Like the list that I went over earlier, the most important thing eventually, once you're in the business for a while, is the follow-up. And you need to follow up with that list every single month, at least once a month, where you're calling them, texting them, emailing them at least once a month. And you're going to get most of your deals from the follow-up. Most of our deals come from just, I made an offer like 3 months ago, and all of a sudden, they want to move forward. I made an offer 6 months ago. We've had deals 2 years, 3 years later, we got the deal, and we never gave up on the follow-up, right? So your mindset should always be, how can I build my follow-up list? How can I make my 3 offers today? And maybe I'm not going to get a deal today, but those 3 hours I put in today, maybe $20,000, 6, 7, 8 months, even a year from now, right? And you got to be patient, right? And that should be your mindset. Am I gonna, watch TV and scroll on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and watch my favorite TV show, or am I gonna build my follow-up list, right? For my future, for my for my legacy in the future for my business, right? And that's the main thing is like building that follow-up list. Like, and once you get to that point, you've been in business for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and all of a sudden you have like 1,000, 4,000, 5,000 people on your follow-up list are getting contacted by you every single month. You're calling them, you're texting them, you're emailing that entire list. You got, let's say you have like 5,000 on that list eventually. That's when business is easy. Like you just follow up and I got 5 deals. You follow up, I got 3 deals. You follow up, I got 4 deals. Right. So at the once a month follow up, you know you're gonna get 3, 4, 5 deals, right? And that's the most important thing. Initially, most initial offers are going to get rejected. So you have to be ready for that. Okay. So do this. Get started now. Realize that creative real estate investing, the reason it is the best is because, hey, I don't need a lot of cash to get started. I don't need great credit. I don't need to get into debt. There's strategies that we use that basically we don't get into debt at all. We flip properties and we don't get into debt. We actually rehab the property and we're not getting into debt. We wholesale properties, you're just basically assigning a contract for a fee. Rent to own properties as well. You can assign those. You can stay in the middle of those. Airbnb management we do. So that's just creating cash flow out of thin air. Um, and of course we do regular listings as well. They call, you can do, if you're not an agent, you can do like novations, they call them. Pick a market. Make sure you pick a market where you're going to get started. If you're all over the place, you're going to fail. You need to pick a market, stay there, give it a good 3, 6 months in that market, and then maybe move to the next. Don't go like, you know, to a whole different state. I would just move to the next city or the next village or the next suburb next to you. Pick your now goal that's gonna get you free from a 9 to 5 and be able to pay off all your living expenses. Set up a marketing plan. Your marketing plan should be similar. Like, I mean, you should be contacting every single seller lead, every single rental lead, every single distress lead in your market, in your area. And eventually, every seller knows your name, every realtor is going to eventually know your name, every landlord is going to know your name. Eventually, every investor in that area will know who you are. And that's when business is easier. You want to stay in the market. You want to eventually be able to wake up and 7, 8, 9, 10 people emailed you a deal that you can potentially buy, or you could potentially do a creative strategy with. And that's when business is easy, right? But you have to put in the work. You have to make that initial effort of contacting all these leads in your market, right? Make your future goal, your end goal, your dream goal, you know, and your dream goal should be something that you write down, and I would make a goal of everything, like, you know, what's my what's my life look like when I wake up? What am I doing? What kind of house I'm in? Write that all down, right? What's my physical health goals, my goals with maybe your goals with God, your spiritual goals, write all that down and write like what's your dream at the end of this, right? Like I like to break it down as what's my goals with God, what's my goals with my physical health, what's my goals with my career, my financial goals, what's my goals in learning, reading books and growing, and what's my goals in my family, my relationships, right? And I like to write down my dream goals at the end of 12 months. Like, this is where I want to be, right? And I read that, I look at those goals every single day. Like, you read them, you meditate on them, you close your eyes, you believe that you reach your goals, and that's going to keep you focused, right? Because there's so many shiny objects. Like, there's millions of ways to make money in real estate. There's so many shiny objects, shiny programs, this and that, new investing strategies that, once you go down that rabbit hole. Let's say you focus and you're making offers every day, and 3 months go by, 4 months, 5, 6 months go by, and all of a sudden you see something else, and then you go and veer off, right? And then all of a sudden, you go do something else, and that doesn't work, and then you come back and then you start over, right? And I see that all the time. Like it just happens over and over and over again. Like I have people that I've closed like 30 deals with, and all of a sudden I don't hear from them for like 2 or 3 years, and then they come back like, hey, I want to get back in, I make good money. Like, yeah, why did you leave in the first place? It's crazy. And now's the time to do the work daily. Fo You got to put in the work. You got to grind every day, and focus on your future goals where you don't have to eventually grind every day, and you can take off, right? And one thing I want to say as well is like, if you're just focused on wholesaling, it's gonna be a tough business for you. If all you focus on wholesale, 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 yeah, you can close some deals, make some decent money, but at the end of the day, you're not creating the cash flow. Or like if you learn rent to own, if you learn like owner financing or property management or Airbnb management, that's cash flow, right? Like that could be every single month. So I see a lot of people quit because, they close a wholesale deal, they make their 10 grand, and then you have to go back to the grind and get the next wholesale deal for the next 10 grand, and that's a consistent grind, right? But if you close 10, 12 like owner financing, rent to own deals or Airbnb management deals in the next 12 months, all of a sudden you have 5,000, 10,000 a month cash flow coming in from from rentals, right? And then now I don't even care if I close a wholesale deal this month or a listing this month or any transactional deal this month because I have the cash flow coming in. So now I'm not worried, right? So I think if you have been in this business and you're just focused on wholesale and maybe just doing listings which are just transactional, you close a deal, you make money once, you get your 5 or 10 grand, you're making a big mistake. Like you need to focus on learn the other strategies, where you can actually stay in the middle of the deal and cash flow it. Like you can do owner financing, stay in the middle, turn around, Airbnb the deal. You can do rent to own, stay in the middle, turn around, Airbnb it, or rent to own to somebody else and cash flow it, right? So that's why I love creative real estate investing, and that's why I think it's the best business to get into. So if you need help, you need mentorship, reach out to us. We have unlimited funding, unlimited leads to call, limited support. Schedule a call with me to see if you're a good fit. We're doing it where it's a smaller group of people, so just like maybe 12 people per year. So if you're interested in that, reach out and we can help you. We can help, we can help you do marketing campaigns, set up campaigns where leads are calling you. We can help you set up all your systems and everything. So reach out here. You got to schedule a call with me. It's a Calendly link, calendly.com, Best Chicago Wholesale Deals. And then we'll do like a Zoom call where we can discuss because we have this Facebook group that's free. Like I've had people schedule a call with me and like I don't have any money to invest. I'm like, all right, the Facebook group here, right here that you're in is absolutely free. So why don't you just go here and watch? I have 200 plus videos that you can watch for free and you can start closing deals for free. Like you don't need to invest in mentorship or anything like that. You can just go here and do deals here for free, right? But if you need more hand holding, one-on-one mentorship, reach out to me here. So there's a question. Let me see. And if anyone has any questions, you can put it in the comments here. Is there a calculator tool to analyze deals to make sure they are good deals? Yeah, we created like a spreadsheet, Loretta, so you can I said your name wrong. La Dorada, I think. So you reach out to us, we can send you a spreadsheet. We have like a CRM that you just plug in comps, condition and the wholesale fee and it tells you the offers. But yeah, if you want our free spreadsheet, you can reach out to us. My email is in the beginning of the video. Of course, the reason why I do these free trainings is I because of these verses here. I do it because I want to help, serve, just give. And I believe that's what the Bible teaches us is hey, once you're saved, you're now a servant. You're supposed to go out there and help as many people as you can with what God has given you, right? So the Bible first and foremost is all about Jesus, submitting to him as King and Lord, coming to him and receiving his salvation, his mercy, his grace. And after you're saved and you really, want to repent and change the way you think, which is repentance, we read the Word of God, the Bible, which teaches us how to live a life that God wants us to live, right? How to sanctify our minds, our hearts, our actions, and what we do every day. And in the Bible, it says in the book of James 2:14-17, faith and works. What use is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone says he has faith but has no works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister is without clothing, in need of daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and be filled, yet you do not give them what is necessary for their body, what use is that? In the same way, faith also, if it has no works, is dead, being by itself. So, Apostle Paul teaches us that grace, right? Like God's grace is free. You receive it like a gift, like a free gift, right? Um, but after you're saved and you really repented, changed, repentance is needed for salvation. Repentance is a change the way you think, right? And you don't do that. You don't have to clean yourself up and come to God. He'll provide mercy for you and grace for you, and you can come to him at any time. But after you're saved, you know, because of the mercy of God and his grace, our hearts get changed. Who we are gets changed. So that leads to good works, right? So we're not saved by works. We're saved by faith and faith alone. But our faith, the reason we believe, will show fruit. The fruit of that would be good works, where we're helping people, serving people, giving, loving people, right? And that's why I do these videos is just to maybe someone out there is really struggling and they're on their last limb. I've been to the point where I was near bankruptcy. One time, and I know how that feels, right? So maybe someone's out there that's at that point as well, and they need some hope, right? They need some hope in something, right? And I believe this business can give you that hope, right? Um, of course, main hope is in Jesus and faith in Jesus alone, but I believe financially, this business that we teach here, being able to flip and cash flow houses without getting into debt is could be life changing for people, right? And I've had hundreds and hundreds of students that close deals doing this stuff and change their lives, right? Like just making an extra, some people just making extra like 10 grand a year that would completely change your life, right? Some people just making an extra 5 grand a year would completely change your life. Some people, take this business to the next level and they make 10 grand every single month, 20 grand every single month, right? And that's what God, I believe, is calling me, and I believe everyone to do is like, hey, if you have skills, if you have talents, if you have something that God has given you right now, and you can help other people, even people that don't even like you, if you can help them, help them. Use your talents, your skills, your gifts, and that's your works. So you're showing your faith by your works, right? And I believe that is what God wants us to do, right? So the book of James, probably one of the greatest books of wisdom, one of my favorite books in the Bible on just wisdom and just how to live life and next to Proverbs. Proverbs is one of my second favorite book. If you want to learn business, how to grow your business, how to not just that, but how to live life that pleases God, have a business that pleases God, read James, read the book of Proverbs, two of the best books in the Bible. So if you guys have any questions, reach out. This is my number, email. Any questions at all, reach out. But I believe today's training is like the foundation. Like you have to do this in order to like you have to know like how many like what do I need to do to reach this goal? You have to know a marketing plan. You have to have a strategy, right? If you don't have a strategy, you don't have a goal, you're literally going nowhere, right? If you don't read your goal every day and visualize your goal and meditate on your goal, you're gonna veer off and just go from thing to thing and jump from this thing to that thing to that thing, and you're just going in circle after circle. Like you have to focus any business, like not just this business. Like if your business is insurance or whatever, the only way to make that successful is to focus on it and nurture it and build a follow-up list as big as possible. Any business, right? Like you need to focus. Like whatever the business that you choose, whether it's creative real estate investing or something else, like whatever it is, you have to have a strategy, you have to have a goal, you have to focus, you have to build your follow-up list. If you don't have a follow-up list, you don't have a business, right? So reach out if you guys have any questions. Hopefully this training helped you. We'll be in the membership group tomorrow at 12, and we'll be back here in this Facebook group live next week, same time. God bless. Hopefully you guys this training helped.